Good afternoon, friends. I'm Father Clemente Barrón, and I live in Madre Dolorosa Passionist community in Sierra Madre, California. And right now, I'm communicating with you from Chino Hills, California, some hour and a half drive from Madre Dolorosa, where I've been living for the last 5 or 6 years. As you know, last Tuesday night rather, uh, we got word that there was a fire that started in Eaton Canyon, which is only about 2.5 miles where we live. And we got word of that fire on as we were eating dinner. And then since that fire was close to our place, we got also word that we should get ready to evacuate. At that time in our retreat center, there were about 60 people uh, having services there, retreat center services, one way or another. And very quickly, the retreat staff did an incredible job of getting everybody ready to leave the retreat center and in their cars in 30 to 40 minutes. And they were on their way. As the last of that effort was being done, we got the mandatory evacuation message. And so we Passionists also were able to put our belongings to each of our cars because we didn't want to have any cars there, knowing that if the fire would come, that would be a danger to us. And off we went looking for lodging. It's the close of the uh, Christmas season. And one of the thoughts that I had as we were leaving the house in a hurry, looking for a place to stay, was, of course, the scene of Mary and Joseph looking for lodging. And it's a Christmas theme that it touches our hearts. We in the Hispanic community have posadas that reflect that seeking for a place to stay. We are in solidarity with all of those people that are in that situation. We also have during the Christmas season another vivid image of that of Mary and Joseph and Jesus fleeing uh, their home because of violence. And we are fleeing our home because of a fire that threatens to destroy where we live in our area. And in fact, a fire that had already destroyed and had taken some lives by the time we were driving away. We left as a Passionist community, and we started trying to find a place where we could have lodging for the night. And for the first 2 hours, we were not successful. And I think we all felt that anxiety of people that flee danger of where will they land and where will they lay their heads that night. We began to try different locations, and finally, around midnight, we found a place that we were able to book for 2 nights. We went to bed that night with the feeling that we are not able to sleep well, a feeling of anxiety, concerns about tomorrow, not knowing what tomorrow will bring. The next day, we were gathering in a diner near the hotel, and we all got together, and there was a lot of anxiety and concern. There was no joy in us. because we just knew that life was not going to be the same after we left Mater Dolorosa. We had no idea how our uh, home was faring, if it was succumbing to the fire. And little by little, we began to learn that the neighbors and the area that we were fleeing from was being devastated by the fire. And we were trying to come together to find out how things were going to unfold in the days after this. We were able to send somebody to look at our property, and he came back with the report, preliminary report, that seemed to be that it was a real tragedy, because all you could see was the burnt grass, the property, and we were not aware of the condition of the house, except for a couple of rooms that looked damaged. He also said that nothing was disturbed within our house. So at the very first report, we had the feeling that we were spared, that our house was going to continue, our retreat center and our community was going to continue serving the people of God and fulfilling our mission as Passionists as we go forward. That in itself helped us to feel better. That evening, I have a classmate in the area from seminary days. Their family reached out to us and invited us to have dinner at one of their homes. And we decided that this would be a good thing to just to have dinner with other people besides us, six of us that were fleeing from the flames. We entered into that home, and there were friends of mine, as I said, for a long time, but the others from our party, they didn't know them too well. Maybe Father Mike did. They opened their hearts, their home, and served us a banquet. It was filled with wine, drinks, hors d'oeuvres, just delicious food. But most of all, it was filled with that welcoming spirit that we are known for when people are in trouble and in need. We laughed, we joked. They served us beautiful salads. They served us Mexican food. They served us dessert. And by the end of that evening, we had connected in a very deep way, I think, with all of the humanity that strives to help people in need and who wishes to reach out to people that have faced tragedy and trauma. And that was a kind of an experience that helps us to recognize how God helps us in those moments when we think all is gone or all can be will be destroyed. God does not leave us without hope and without the people that give us hope. I was reflecting as I went to bed that night, a difference of the previous night, the anxiety, the fear, the concerns, the not knowing, And I'm sure some of us didn't sleep all that well. And then I thought about the morning breakfast and just no sense of togetherness, each with their own thoughts. Um, and then the joy, the celebration that night, which brought about a whole new sense of, yes, we can go forward. We can go forward as a community. We can go forward with a vision that there is a path for that we can go together as Passionists, as a community, as a church. So for me, it turned out to be a spiritual experience, and it still continues to be a spiritual experience. I'd like to encourage every one of you to be mindful of all of those people that are in trouble, that are tragically alone, who will never have the kind of outcome that we have had these last few days. I also like to report that uh, we are now certain that the retreat center will be soon back into business. I don't know how soon, but because we were not damaged by the fire, uh, we are very optimistic that we can deal with anything that we have to. But our mission is to be with the people of God, with the people that come to us for spiritual direction, for guidance, for those moments in their lives that they need some counsel on, and just to be at peace. It may take some time before we get our gardens back, but there will always be there, a Mater Dolorosa. So we ask you to keep praying for us. We ask you to keep praying for those, especially those who have given their lives during this time of tragedy, and that we do so together in solidarity. Thank you very much for joining us in our journey. Father Clemente Barrón, I am the local superior of Mater Dolorosa Passionist community.